Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this particular video, I'll discuss some section A questions which have taken it from previous year question papers and from the model question paper. First one is define auditing. So what is auditing? Auditing is verification and examination of accounts. Whatever the books of accounts maintained by the organization, verifying and examining, that is auditing, and it is done to ascertain the reliability and validity of information, whether whatever the information projected in the financial statements, whether it is valid, whether it is fair and true, that will be ascertained in the auditing. And very important point is that the auditing starts once accounting ends. When the accounting procedure ends, only then the auditing process starts. Next, what is internal check? So this is okay. I'll write from which chapter. This is from first chapter, define auditing question. Second chapter it is what is internal check? I think internal check is second chapter. Yes, it is second chapter. Internal check is an arrangement of duties of the staff members. Means allocating the duties for them, what duty they have to perform in a such a way that the work performed by one employee will be checked by the another employee. So it is a systematic arrangement where work performed by one person will be automatically checked by the another person. That is internal check. Next, name any two methods of valuation of assets. I think this is also, I think this is third chapter. This is from the third chapter. So any two they have asked, but I have given everything. So you can write any two. We have market value, cost price, replacement value, book value, and scrap value. Next, what is tax audit? This is from first chapter. If you have studied the types of audit, then you can answer this question. It is from first chapter. Tax audit refers to the examining the organization or individual's income and expenditure claims of deduction and exemption. So checking how much income as a person earned, how much expenditure he has incurred, how much the amount of deduction he has claimed, what is the amount of exemption he can take in order to assess the tax. So this is done for the assessment of tax. It is compulsory in financial audit. So if you're doing a financial audit, then you have to compulsorily do the tax audit. It has to be done by the qualified chartered accountant. So who will do this? Qualified chartered accountant will do this tax audit. Next, what do you mean by civil liability of an auditor, of a company auditor? The civil liability means the liability of an auditor to pay damages. So whatever the damages, if any auditor does any damages, he has to pay certain penalty for that. That is known as civil liability. Again, there are two types in civil liability. In that, first one is like liability for negligence, and second one is liability for misfeasance. This is the civil liability of a company's auditor. Next, state any two types of frauds. So three types of frauds are there. So I mentioned in that any two you can answer in the examination. I think this is civil liability of an auditor. It is from chapter 4, chapter number 4. Next, two types of frauds. It is from the chapter 1. Chapter 1. So, embezzlement of cash, misappropriation of goods, and fraudulent manipulation of accounts. All this I have explained in my videos. You can go through the videos. Next, what is the meaning of error of principle? Again, this is a question from chapter number 1. When transaction is not recorded in accordance with the fundamental principles of accounting, means you are not following any accounting standards or any accounting principles given by generally accepted accounting principles. If you record the transaction neglecting all these things, then it is known as error of principle. It should be PEPLE, error of principle. Next, two advantages of audit program. So two advantages of audit program. It is also from chapter 1. Chapter 1. So it helps you to check the books of accounts systematically. So you have already planned how to check from where to start. So you can easily systematically check the books of accounts. Second thing, it will be easy for you to allocate the task for junior auditing staff. So if you have any junior auditing staff in your organizations, you can easily allocate the work with the help of audit program. Next, what is audit paper or working paper? This is also, the question is from chapter number 1. Audit working paper refers to audit papers. So where the audit evidence is recorded. So while you're performing the audit, you will collect certain evidence. That evidence will be recorded here. So that while making an auditor's opinion, this acts as a support. So while making audit opinion, this acts as a support. So even they provide insights for planning, performing, and supervision of audit. It will help you to plan, perform, and supervise the supervision of audit. Next, what is internal control? Yes, this is also from second chapter. Yes, internal control refers to various methods and the procedures adopted by the organization for the purpose of controlling the production or the distribution and whole system of enterprise. So to control the whole system, to have the proper organizational structure and have the proper control, they will adopt certain methods and procedures that is known as internal control. Meaning of verification, it is from chapter number 3. Meaning of verification. Verification means proving the truth. It means proving the truth or confirmation of the truth existence. So verification of assets and liability means verifying the existence and the correctness of the money value of the assets and liability. So whatever the money value you have shown in the balance sheet of assets and liabilities, proving that that value is correct, confirming that that value is correct, that is known as verification. Next, who is a company auditor? Yes, this is from chapter number 4. So an auditor is a person or a firm. So this is very important. Auditor can be an individual person or they'll be firm. Audit firms will call. So those will be appointed by the company to perform an audit or to execute an audit. So he is an authorized person to review and verify the accuracy of the financial records maintained by the organization. Next, what is management audit? I think what is management audit is from chapter number 1 only. Yes, it comes in types of audit. So it is a systematic examination of activities of management. So there are different levels of management. We have top level, middle level, and lower level. Examining the activities performed by them. So, and even it covers all areas. It will examine both planning, organizing, and all the management functions. So this management audit helps in improving the efficiency of management. That is management audit. Next, 4 examples for deferred revenue expenditure. So it is something advance you have given, that is prepaid rent, prepaid insurance, prepaid subscription, prepaid telephone bill. What are the this next, yes. What are the different types of audit report? This is chapter number 5, last chapter. So clean and unqualified report, qualified report, adverse report, disclaimer or opinion audit report. So these are the 4 types of audit report. What do you mean by audit? This is from chapter number 1. What do you mean by audit? So audit is actually the word derived from the Latin word audire. Audire means to hear. Audire means to hear. So what had happened? The audit, actually it is an attempt to find out that whatever the financial statements prepared by the company, it is true and fair. It's a fair position. It describes the fair financial position of the company. Next, give 2 examples of fictitious assets. This is from fictitious assets. Yes, chapter number 3 it is. Preliminary expenses, underwriting commission, or discount on issue of shares, or discount on issue of debentures. All these things you can write for the examples. What is internal audit? It is from chapter number 1. Internal audit is conducted by the own staff. So own staff of the organization conducts the internal audit. They'll be assigned for that particular purpose only. So they'll do the thorough examination of the accounting transactions. Whatever the accounting transactions the firm has recorded, they will thoroughly scan and they will thoroughly examine all these accounting transactions. What do you mean by contingent liability? So contingent liability is a liability which may or may not arise. So it's like provisions. You can keep example of provisions. So you may you may see the uncertainties that may arise in the future, but it may arise or it may not arise. But you still be safer side. You will maintain some liability, that is contingent liability. Unless and until this contingent liability is negligible, means you cannot avoid that the liability occurs. Till then, okay, this particular existence should be disclosed. So you have to show that in the balance sheet in the footnote. So usually there will be a something called as footnote in the down of your balance sheet. So there you have to mention this contingent liability. Next, the last section here question which you can expect is mention two items. Okay, mention two examples you can take. Two examples of contingent liability. So it is bills receivable but not matured. That is also contingent liability. Next, penalties under a forward contract. Penalties under a forward contract. Then litigation in respect of trademarks and copyrights. That is also the example of contingent liabilities. So this was all the important questions, which expected questions. So I've collected all this from the previous year question papers. So if you have any doubts, you can put your doubts in the comment box. In my next video, I'll come back with section B and section C questions.